because they can't stop it and they know it's huge. And I believe, here's the good news, that this is going to fail. The globalists have put out this disinformation because they know this is massive, this is the zeitgeist, people now understand it, and they hope when it comes out this isn't true, it'll somehow discredit it all. I actually believe this will blow up in their face like Pizzagate did. And people will see through all this and understand what's going on. Now, could it be they're really money laundering? Could it be that they're actually, these are real ads? Who knows? They might be that bold and really doing it. Could it be that it's an honest mistake and more zeros were added? I don't believe so, because they're all named after little girls, a bunch of them missing little girls, to make everybody go crazy.
Good morning, everybody. So, the fucking world we live in is insane. It's fucking crazy. And I'm starting to get more convinced as time goes on that we're living in a fucking simulation. There's no way all this shit can be real. Everything going on with fucking Wayfair and Gasoline. How do you say her name? Gayleen? I say Gasoline because there's an S in there. I guess it's silent. Fucking stupid name. But Gayleen Maxwell and everything going on with Jeffrey Epstein and fucking the Clintons and the whole Wayfair scandal now. It's crazy. I don't even know what to fucking think. That's why I'm putting in all this time to do a bunch of research. If you didn't know about like InfoWars and like what's the name of that other website? Band.video. Go to band.video. It's a lot of really eye-opening things that I think everyone can benefit from, because man, I'm telling you, our fucking world leaders, or just the leaders of this country alone, it's fucking crazy. They're all psycho fucking pedophiles, and it just seems like everybody is in on this giant pedophile ring, and there's satanic fucking occult stuff going on in between. It's fucking nuts, and it's madness. But anyway, let's get on with the episode before I ramble on into a fucking hour and a half and not even talk about what I want to talk about. So, here it is, guys. Sit back, relax. The Hindsight Podcast brings you episode, what are we on? 27. This is episode 27. Sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Who is that nasty?
Zach will kill you and fuck your bitch.
People pay $1 million for one drop of my sperm.
So, yeah, I'm in the rambling mood this morning. I've been all over the fucking internet, just kind of trying to expand my mind a little bit. It sucks because when you start digging, I guess you kind of get pulled into the rabbit hole, and you kind of start acting like a fucking Eddie Bravo. If you don't know who Eddie Bravo is, I'll just say a major conspiracy theorist. And you try talking to people about it, and it makes you sound crazy because a lot of these people go, "Oh, come on, that's just in the fucking movies, or that can't be real. It's just too crazy," and all this other shit. But why can't it be real? You know what I mean? Like we have like Jeffrey Epstein's island, where they took kids and had sex with underage children and everything like that. That's not just a conspiracy, that's real. The island's there. It's been proven that kids have been taken there to, be molested and shit like that. It's crazy. That's real. You can't say it's fake. It's real. It's proven. So when you look at that, what else is real? What else is fucking going on behind the scenes that people are just brushing off like, that's just nonsense. That can't be fucking real. Come on now. Whoa. I had a giant piece of skin hanging off my fucking hand. That was weird. Anyway, I guess I'll kind of jump off of that because I could fucking talk about that shit forever. But and you guys would think I'm just crazy. But I discovered something today. Those people that live in or around the Sedalia area probably know what has been going on with the Hannah Pfizer incident. She was shot and killed. What was it, June 23rd or June 13th? I think it was June 13th, actually. She was shot and killed. She was shot like 4 or 5 times in her vehicle. Didn't have a firearm on her. And the cop that shot and killed her, murdered her, has skipped town and nobody's heard shit. Like, why has this fucking dude been able to skip town? And one of the people that we're holding responsible is Kevin Charles Bond. He is the like leading sheriff or whatever. I don't know what to fucking call him. He's a sheriff. I know that. And he's the one that's been, at the front of everything, like, in my opinion, making excuses for the lack of evidence, because apparently there has been no fund for body cameras or for dash cams or anything like that. But if you just remember a few months back that some random fucking patrol car cruising down Broadway caught a fucking meteor, blasting into Earth's atmosphere. Why would that have been recording? Because according to Kevin Bond, the patrol cars that do have dash cams and shit like that are only to start recording when they get into a pursuit or when they, are pulling over a vehicle, whatever. But that cop cruising down Broadway at midnight was just driving, and he caught that on camera. So I think there's a lot of lies being told. There's definitely a lot of lies being told. Think about it. They work together. I mean, they're government gangsters, basically. You know what I mean? They're government that goes around town and collects money. For what? For the government. So I would definitely not put it past any one of the police officers in this town or anything that that they know a lot more, but they're not saying anything, especially Kevin Bond, that fat piece of shit. Why is he even a cop in the first place? He's like 300 fucking pounds. Dude's like 60 years old, 300 fucking pounds, not athletic at all. What are we doing with our police forces? Why is this guy allowed to be a sheriff at anything? Dude, what if you get called to duty all of a sudden? Like, you need to run in and be the hero to save the day. That fat fuck ain't saving shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's a fucking joke. If you look at some of our police officers, they're fat, unathletic, not healthy, and they're definitely not smart enough to make decisions, life-threatening decisions, on the fly. So I don't really know, man. There definitely needs to be some police reform for sure. I'm all for police reform, but defunding the police, look, I know there's a lot of bad cops. I've experienced bad cops, but unlike everybody else, I'm not going to apply my one experience to every other experience that people have had or are going to have in the future. That's just not how it works. That's not how the world works. People are different. They're individuals. Everybody's different, right? But I feel like we need a lot more training. Like I've said this before, I feel like the police force needs to be something that is like the Navy SEALs. You know what I mean? Only the best of the best are selected to do it, because these are the people that are supposed to protect us, and they're the people that are supposed to, go deal with, small things, even like domestic disputes. You know what I mean? But that same person that's talking that suicidal husband off the ledge is going home, arguing with his wife, slapping her around. Like, it doesn't make any sense. So I feel we definitely need a lot of police reform. Defunding the police just doesn't sound like a smart idea. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to get off that. But I did a lot of research this morning, and to my surprise, the information on Kevin Bond has been released to the public, and I don't know, it actually wasn't released, it was leaked, which means that they don't want it to be out there, but it made its way out there anyway. So I went ahead and I saved all the information before it gets taken off the internet. There's a website called copblaster.com, and you can go on that website, and it gives you a lot of information on these crooked ass cops, and maybe too much information, because right now I have all of his information. I have his full name. There's a copy of his birth certificate that I was able to save. And I didn't have to download it. So if you're thinking that, oh, you downloaded that, you idiot, I did not download it. I took a screenshot of it. And I did it on a phone that has no SIM card in it at all anyway. So whatever. So I have which has his social security number, his full fucking social security number is on there. I have, his date of birth, his age, his address. I have his address. The dude that is lying to us all about how and why Hannah Pfizer was brutally murdered in her own vehicle while she was traveling on her way to work. I have his fucking address. I have 2 phone numbers that have been known to be the numbers of Kevin Bond. I haven't called them to see if they're actually still active numbers, but dude, it's crazy what the internet is capable of. So I have all this information. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but if you see his house burnt down, it wasn't me. So anyway, yeah, because I like to just like sit back and observe, right? We'll just leave it at that. I like to observe. So anyway, there's that. That's what I've been on this morning. I've just been, going down rabbit holes, jumping from, it felt like I was just going deeper and deeper and deeper into the internet, and I mean, you can find a whole bunch of shit on like 4chan and 8chan and all that anonymous shit that people feel comfortable posting that shit on because it's all, anonymous and everything. But anyway, off of that, my Buddha to my right, I have an all black Buddha statue that holds a candle. And it's very peaceful, and it's super chill right now, so I'm feeling good. So let's talk about something. So yesterday, I sat down, super confident, ready to record an entire podcast, and I did. I got a 43-minute podcast recorded yesterday, and I felt amazing about it. Except after everything was all said and done, mind you, I put in like hella work on the intro, you know what I mean? I do all this work that you guys don't see, like cutting audio, like I'm traveling across the internet, finding different pieces of audio that I could actually steal, because sometimes stealing somebody else's audio, or, just taking a piece of somebody else's audio it's been proven to be kind of difficult at times. because especially in today's day and age, a lot of that audio is monetized, so people own it and they make money off of it. So if someone takes it and uses it, they want to make sure they get their fair share. So I got to put in a little bit of work to get some audio, and that beginning audio that you heard of Alex Jones, that was a live recording that I took on my laptop from his website. What not exactly Infowars.com, but it was band.video. That's where I got the audio from, and that's where I suggest you go to band.video, because you'll find a lot of content on that website that YouTube or other websites will just immediately take down because it doesn't go with their narrative. And honestly, I think it's because there's a lot of truth in what's being told in those videos. But anyway, I recorded everything yesterday and I was happy with the end result. I went to go edit my vocals or edit my audio and everything, and I played it back. And because one of the first things I do when I edit my audio is I go in and I remove the background noise, right? So I took out the background noise, and then I did a de-esser, which basically gets rid of all the sharp S's of, the S's, the sharpness of your S's. And I went to play it back, dude, and it sounded like I recorded it on a fucking calculator. So I was like, ooh, yeah, maybe I should do this edit before that one, and switched them around, and it still sounded just like trash. And I do some investigating. I go to my microphone drop-down box in Audacity, and come to find out, instead of recording on my cool snowball microphone, I was recording all of my audio from the built-in microphone on my laptop. And don't get me wrong, excuse me, my laptop is nice. It's one of those HP laptops that you could like flip all the way in half and turn it into like a giant tablet, and it's all touchscreen and everything. So I mean, it's nice. It's a Windows. It is what it is. It has like fucking Windows whatever on it. I don't even fucking know. I don't really update it or anything, and that might explain why I have so many audio dropouts. But anyway, I recorded the entire 43-minute podcast and ended up having to trash the entire thing. So I just decided to do something a little different today. The intro is way different. Well, my intro song is obviously always the same, but the first thing you hear when you click on this video is going to be Alex Jones. Yesterday, it would have been a very dark piece of audio that I took from Meat Canyon, and just really dark animations. Go check him out on YouTube. It's Meat Canyon. He does a lot of remakes of like popular cartoons, and he puts like dark humor and really fucked up twisted humor in there. It's awesome. But if you don't like dark humor, you won't like it. But anyway, what I talked about yesterday was losing my virginity. And I guess I'll breeze through that and call it quits for the day. So I lost my virginity when I was 14. Big surprise. A lot of things in my life happened when I was 14 after I moved out of my dad's house and started living with my mom. So it was one morning, a bunch of people were coming over to the house. I guess they were going to do something big. They were going to go on some, drugged out adventure, just like lots of other drug addicts do. And they were all like, Sid's house was like the meeting place. So there was like, 5 or 6 people there. And there was this one guy my mom was friends with. I don't remember his name. I want to say it was like Tony or some dumb shit like that. There's a reason why I hate that name, but I won't get into that now. Excuse me. And this guy, he was like, I don't know, 35, 40 years old, something like that. And, they're all tweaked out. They're all doing meth for a long time, days and days at a time, staying up. And, but he had this beautiful girlfriend who was 19 years old at the time. And I mean, she was way out of his league. You could tell that she was just like using him for the drugs that he had. I mean, he tried to be cool. He was one of those douchey jock type of guys that wore like cargo shorts with the fucking strings that hang down off the side and shit that damn near touch your ankles. And like big clunky athletic shoes and a really tight fitting like dry fit shirt. Forward facing cap with like a fucking, you know, your favorite NFL team and those fucking speed racer sunglasses. He was that type of douchebag. But I never really had any problems with him before, except that one time he told my mom that she shouldn't give me ecstasy because I might as well be doing crank with them. But my mom was like, fuck you, dude, go raise your own kids. And if I want to give my son ecstasy, he's gonna get ecstasy. So but anyway, they were all over at the house one morning, and this was a few days after my birthday. Was it? Maybe it wasn't. It was sometime in July or June. I think it was June. It had to have been right before my birthday. So yeah, anyway, it was right before my birthday, and everybody was just, you know, mingling in the kitchen, and then that dude and his girlfriend show up, right? And then people start asking me to smoke. They're like, hey, you want to smoke some bud? You want to smoke some bud? And I was like, man, I don't have any. And they were kind of, you know, butthurt about it because a week before I came over to their house and they smoked me out. And now all of a sudden they come over to a 14-year-old's house and they're going to get butthurt at a child because he doesn't have any fucking pot to smoke with, you know, these middle-aged people. It just seemed kind of petty in my opinion, but nothing. I didn't have nothing to smoke. This was one of the rare occasions that I did not have weed. I used to fucking go through like an ounce every 2 or 3 days. So, you know, my marijuana habit was a little pricey, but, you know, my mom never paid for that shit anyway. She just had some dude come by and give me a bunch of fucking weed, and then he would leave, and then that was it. So my mom ended up saying, well, we could clean Zachary's bong. And I had this one bong that my mom had given me the first day I got released from child prison or juvie, whatever you want to call it. And it was like, to this day, one of my absolute favorite bongs that I've ever had or ever smoked out of. And that was my daily. Every time that I wanted to smoke, it was out of that bong, no matter what. Just a little bit, a lot of it, it didn't matter. It was out of that fucking bong. So it was very dirty, very resonated. And if you don't know what resonated means, it just means that, like, picture smoking out of a pipe. And if you look through the carb or you look through the mouthpiece, all that black soot that resonates on the side of the glass and everything like that, you could scrape that out and smoke it. It still has a little bit of THC in it, so, you know, you can get stoned in desperate times. Not the best, but it works, right? So my mom goes, we can clean Zachary's bong. And I was kind of like, oh, what? Shut the fuck up. You know, what are you saying? That's for me, bitch, you know? And I was kind of frustrated. So she grabs the bong and takes it to the kitchen sink and starts cleaning it. She's got the coffee filter in the cup and everything. We're straight in the water out, getting all the resin out of the bong water and stuff. And we end up with this giant fucking ball, like the size of 2 golf balls. Just giant compressed nug of resin, like this, like just a little bit smaller than my fist, like huge fucking ball of resin. I never cleaned that bong water ever. That's why that shit was practically pudding when we went to clean it, which is kind of gross, I know, but whatever. And so we ended up with this giant fucking ball, and it's bong water resin, most of it, so it needed time to dry, and people were, the dudes that wanted to smoke were kind of getting impatient, so I was letting it sit and dry in a windowsill, in this little fucking room that was like a toy room for Sid's bitch ass son. What was his name? New Wayne. His name wasn't even cool, like something like Do Wayne It was New Wayne, like Newayne, New Wayne. That shit is retarded. And I have a crazy story on, I don't even want to say it because you might think differently of me. But that kid was a punk ass bitch. Anyway, so yeah, I'm letting it dry in this windowsill, and then my mom says goodbye, and everybody is leaving and stuff, and the girl is staying behind, that cute ass 19-year-old girl, and I had no idea. I thought she was gonna go, and I was gonna be home alone like normal, but she stripped down and threw some clothes in the washer. She started some laundry, and then went and got in the shower. And a few days before this, my mom had taken me into town and bought me like it was like a DVD of old school like 90s skate videos, right? And I'll breeze through this. We went in the store and realized that we couldn't buy anything because everything was like over $100, except for some DVDs. They were like $19.99 or whatever. And you could tell by the way that I was dressed, by the way that my mom was dressed, we didn't really have it that good, you know what I mean? And it's embarrassing because as a kid, I hung out with kids that had nice stuff, dressed really nice how I wanted to, but I didn't have the money or the means to be able to do that. So I would tend to stay in the car a lot during situations, or just go be by myself and hide, because I was embarrassed, you know what I mean, of being homeless sometimes, or a lot of times, and wearing the same clothes, and I just would be very self-conscious of all that stuff. And I think the guy at the counter knew, because when we walked out, he came and followed us, and he said, "Hey, come follow me real quick." And we were like, okay. We went around to the back of the store to his truck, and he had like a cover over the bed of his truck, and he went in there. He was going through some stuff, pulled out a backpack of all these old VHSs of like 90s skate videos, you know what I mean? And it was like the Mecca. I was like, oh my God, this is, and he was like, I saw you like old skate videos. He was like, you want these? And I was like, man, I don't have any money, bro. And he was like, no, dude. He's like, I'll just give these to you, man. And I was like, oh, you know what I mean? I was like, no fucking way. I was so thankful. And I was just like smiling after that and so happy. And then he goes, man, you skate? And I was like, yeah, but I haven't had a skateboard in a while, so I can't really skate, And he was like, hang on a second. And he goes to the front of his truck. In the passenger seat is a full skateboard, just a full setup ready to go. And I mean, it was almost brand new, like he had skated it maybe for a week or something. And he was like, bro, you can have this. And I was like speechless, you know what I mean? Because I knew my birthday was coming up and I wasn't going to be able to have shit. And this dude just gave me all this stuff that meant a lot to me. Like, I loved skateboarding. And I started to cry and get emotional, and then I handed my mom my skateboard, or my backpack with all the VHSs in them, and I tried to like skate off and do a trick, but I was like really crying. I just didn't want them to see me crying so much. And I wish I could fucking find that guy, because that did a lot for me, a lot more than he probably thinks it did. And anyway, so I had all these VHSs and stuff at the house, and I popped one in while she was in the shower, and I'm sitting there watching these skate videos, and then she comes out, and I'm sitting on my little love seat that I used to sleep on, and I know it was I had to fucking curl into a ball every night, dude. I had back problems for a minute after that, but she sat right next to me, and this was a tiny little love seat. There was like no room, you know what I mean, to put in between us. So it was like we were there. And she was just in a towel, hair still a little bit wet. And we start smoking a little bit, because she was like, hey, you want to, smoke some of that resin? And I was like, bet. So I load up a bong bowl of some resin and we're smoking and we're watching these vintage skate videos that is just amazing because the music that they're playing was like all the music I was into, you know, like old 90s hip hop, old 90s, you know, rock and roll and shit like that. Just amazing music. And I was feeling really good. I was getting, you know, super stoned with a cute girl that I had only met like one or two other times and not really said much to. And we were, you know, smoking, and then we loaded up another bong bowl, and we would, you know, we did that a couple times. I think we smoked like 2 or 3 bong bowls, and we were both like laughing and telling jokes, and I was making her laugh. I was feeling really good. I was all confident. I felt like the shit for a minute. And then where she's asking me stuff about skateboarding, and I'm like telling her like, oh, that dude just did this trick, and now he's, you know, he just dropped in, he's going to set up for this trick over here. And I want to, you know, I was trying to sound like a professional, you know what I mean? But, you know, I just got to imagine what I look like to her. I was pretty tall as a 14-year-old. I was probably like 5'9" or something like that. And maybe 5'8", 5'8", 5'9", getting close to 6 foot. I wore skinny jeans. I had long hair. I wore like band t-shirts. And like I was just so young looking. When I see pictures of myself from back then, I looked like a fucking baby. You know what I mean? So, and this girl looked like a fucking supermodel. So I don't know what was going on in her head, but you know, she must have just dug it. You know what I mean? Because as I'm sitting there telling her about things that are happening in the video, she starts like monkey sucking on my neck. She just like leans in and starts like legit monkey sucking on my neck. Like I thought she was trying to suck the fucking adrenochrome out of my throat. Crazy. And so she starts, then she switches sides of my neck, and then, you know, I got like my hand on her back, like kind of like slowly caressing her ass. You know what I mean? This might be kind of weird for you or uncomfortable. I don't really care. And then she starts kissing me, slowly going down, like down to my chest, down my stomach, and then she gets to the penis. And I'll just say this, like, I'm not trying to brag or anything, but I don't know how to say this without sounding weird. I don't necessarily have a small penis. So when she went to go chomp on that thing, it was a little difficult. And you know, that was my first experience with a blowjob. And I mean, I don't feel bad for the size. I just felt bad because I felt bad for myself, because I was like, man, you know, she did a really good job. Like, don't get me wrong. She went to town on that thing, but it, you know, was like definitely not all in her mouth. So, and anyway, so she did that for a while, maybe, you know, 10, 15 minutes. It seemed like an hour, especially for your first time. And everything, I had never had sex up to this point. So everything that I knew about fucking and about sex was what I saw in pornos. And so as she's doing this, she starts to come back up, starts kissing my body, going back up to my neck again, and she starts like making out with my neck. And like I put my arm and hand on her back, and I kind of like stand up and like lay her down, and now she's on her back and I'm on top of her. And it was like the smoothest fucking thing I'd ever done. All the stars to align just right for me to do that perfectly. And then it was my turn. So I kissed her body, and this was my first time being able to, you know, play with tits, really play with tits. I had a couple, you know, experiences before this, but it was not, you know, full on naked tits and nipples in my face. I got to just play with and suck on. It was amazing. As that 14-year-old me, I was in heaven, right? And then, you know, I slowly went down and I ate her out for a while, which was my first experience. Everything was my first. So up to that point, for some reason, I thought that going down on a girl was going to be like a fruity tasting kind of experience. I don't know why I thought that. Maybe it was the shit I heard in songs and stuff like that. But come to my surprise, pussy doesn't taste like fruit. It just tastes like skin. If you want to know what pussy tastes like, just suck on the inside of your leg or your arm or something. There you go. You're good. Unless you don't, you know, take care of that stuff and it's a little yeasty down there. You can, you know, make a loaf of bread or some shit with this with the secretion of her vagina. So if she's clean, you're good. If she's not, you know, like my mom always told me, this might sound weird. If it smells like trout, eat it out. If it smells like cologne, leave it alone. And I know that might be a little tough for some people, but if a girl's pussy smells like perfume or cologne really strong, it probably means she's trying to cover something up. No offense to any ladies that could be listening that do that. I'm just saying that, you know, douches are a thing. And I didn't even know what a douche was till I was older. And anyway, so I went down on her for a while. And then, you know, it was the time. It was the moment to slide it in. And, you know, she probably could tell that it was my first time, even though she asked kind of like in a sexy way. And I was like, yeah, no, you're not my first. You know what I mean? I wanted to be a cool guy for her. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. But I think that might have been her whole shtick, was that she was going to take this kid's virginity. Even though she might have, you know, knew I was lying about not being a virgin. So, and she helped me out. She helped me a little bit get it where it needed to go, right? And we went to town. You know, we fucked for probably 45 minutes. And we did a few different positions, which I was, you know, that's how I thought sex went. As I got older, I realized that 90% of sex is usually the missionary position, and then you just turn your girlfriend or wife into a toaster strudel. You being the icing packet, her being the strudel itself, and you just, you know, you put that shit on top. You know what I mean? And then you're like, here's a towel, babe. And so my first experience was like, you know, all these different positions and stuff like that. And I thought that's how everybody did it every time. And I'm really surprised with how long I lasted, because I guarantee if it would have been with a girl my age and I would have been like, you know, really nervous, just like the girl probably would have been nervous if, you know, we were both the same age and we were both like losing it together, I probably wouldn't have lasted more than a few seconds, like, you know, a 1 or 2 pump chump. But I had all this adrenaline rushing at the time, and I was like in this mode where I was like, man, I really need to impress this girl. So it was like, you know, my brain was telling my dick, you better keep it together for, you know, at least 30 minutes. So, but then it came time for me to finish, you know what I mean? And, like, let me remind you that the only thing I had seen up to this point was pornos. And in a lot of pornos, there's just, you know, facials, which is a cum shot on the girl's face. And to my knowledge back then, that's how I thought it went down. That's how I thought everybody finished. And, you know, I mean, I had some inkling of an idea that not every person who had sex, you know, came on a girl's face. But I was like, yeah, the majority probably do, you know, so I'm good. And it came time. And I pulled out and I put my hand behind her back or behind her head, and I got her closer, and I kind of like, you know, put a leg up on the couch and stood over her. And then there it was, you know what I mean? You know, it was raining semen all over her face and mouth. And if that's too much, I'm sorry. But this is a, you know, an R-rated podcast. So yeah, and we finished, and it was amazing, and you know, we got cleaned up, and then we continued to sit there and watch skate videos and get super stoned, and then we ended up cuddling on the couch and taking a little nap. We woke up, and then we ended up taking a walk in the woods. You know, we were holding hands, and we were kissing like we were a couple, up until everybody got back, and then she left with that dude, and I never saw or heard from her again. And man, that girl made me so happy, and I wish I could find her, but I don't even remember her name. And it's a big fat bummer. Really big fat bummer. I mean, I could probably do a lot of digging and contact my mom and ask my mom what that dude's name was, figure out how to contact that dude, figure out what that girl's name was, and who knows if she'd even want to hear from me. But I feel like it would be really cool if we could have her on the podcast, or I could do some kind of phone interview and get her perspective of the whole ordeal, and if she actually knew or not if I was a virgin, and if she, you know, consciously went into that with that goal to take my virginity. So goals. Maybe someday I'll be able to accomplish that. Right now it just seems like way too far out of reach. So yeah, that's how I lost my virginity, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, because that time that I lost my virginity really set me up for success a couple weeks down the road, because a couple weeks after that is when I fucked my mom's friend in the back of her car behind the Bethel Bar in Port Orchard. And I don't think my mom knows. Maybe she does. Oh, no. I don't know. I honestly, it's been so long, I can't remember. But I fucked this lady. She was in her mid to late 30s. And yeah, that was a very memorable time too. If you want to hear about that, you could just go check out all my older episodes on YouTube. There's an episode I talk about fucking a cougar or something like that. It's in the title. And that was an amazing experience for only my second time having sexual intercourse. Yeah, so anyway, if you guys enjoyed this episode, let me know. If you think that I was ranting and raving a little bit too much there at the beginning, you could also let me know, because this whole thing with Wayfair is fucking crazy. Like if you haven't heard much, you need to go do some research about the whole Wayfair child sex trafficking scandal that's going on right now. Because they have like all these cabinets and stuff for sale on their website, where it'll be like a chest or a cabinet for like anywhere between like $10,000 to $15,000 for a $100 cabinet. But that's not the weird thing. You're like, oh, that could be a clerical error. It's not, because the names of the cabinets are also names of girls, little girls that are actually missing in the United States. What the fuck is that? And then you go to see, you do a little more research, and you see that they only have one of those cabinets in stock. Wayfair only has one set of cabinets in stock. Dog, they supply that shit for tons of companies. Why? Hundreds and thousands of companies. Why would they only have one of this chest in stock? And why is it $12,399? You know what I mean? It's just a lot of weird shit that we should be investigating. I don't know why we just sit back and we fucking let these ultra rich fucking billionaires run this fucking country, because they're all fucking psycho satanic pedophiles, and they lie to us, and they all they do is lie to us and take our money. Literally, there is so many more of us than there are of them. I feel we really need to come together as a community, not the communities in our towns. I'm talking a community as a country. We need to come together and we need to make leaders in that. And then we need to take that shit over. This is a fucking joke. We need to elect and get real people with real fucking smarts, real morals, real standards in the White House or in Congress or any government position that has some kind of pull on anything where they could use their power to manipulate whatever the fuck. It can go so many different directions in so many different categories. It's hard to pinpoint one thing that we need to change. There's so many. The whole thing is just fucked up and corrupt. And we just sit back and we don't do shit about it. We're just like, yeah, like taxes. What the fuck, dude? Why? They're taking your money. Like they literally steal our money and then don't tell us what it's for. They're just like, yep, I'm going to need some of that. The money that you work hard for every week so that you could survive and eat food. They just come in and take a nice chunk of it because why not? Because we're not going to do anything about it anyway. And they fucking know it. It's ridiculous that I have to pay the government thousands of dollars a year. For what? I don't know. I just have to give them money. Because why? Because I live in the United States. I am completely blown away by the fact that we just sit back and let them steal from us. Every day, every single day, you use money. Every single day, you're going to the store. You're being fucking taxed. And don't get me wrong, I don't mind like state and local taxes if it's actually going to like repairing roads or schools or teachers, you know what I mean? Or hospitals or fucking, you know, organizations that help children that don't have parents or, you know, just the less fortunate in general. Just show me where that shit's going. You know what I mean? State and local taxes, that's fine. We all gotta, you know, we all gotta chip in to make our communities better, right? I'm all for that. But on the level of federal tax, that's where you fucking lose me. Because I don't see the need for the government to come in and take my little bit of money that I desperately need. But they have, you know, 600 million sitting in the bank. It just doesn't make any sense to me. So anyway, I'm gonna jump off the whole crazy train here and end this episode. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Yesterday, fucking up that entire episode really gave me the opportunity to come in today and really record it in a better way, because yesterday I kind of went off a little bit, and I won't even get started on it. But after it was all said and done, I was a little embarrassed of myself. So I am thankful, but still a little bummed out that it happened. But I'm thankful because it gave me the opportunity to record it in a way I want to now. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope I gave you something with this podcast and let you learn something new about me or yourself, whatever. Anyway, I'm gonna hop off here, guys. I hope you're having a beautiful fucking day. I hope you're enjoying this retarded ass July because it is so fucking hot. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. Peace the fuck out.